Harvest is officially over, and I'm a little bit sad about it, but I am redeemed by the fact that we still have so much to do. The work never ends. So we've gotten some rain, the fields are still a little bit muddy, but we are headed out there right now, not to do field work necessarily, but we need to do some pivot maintenance. So we have a big man lift. We're going to be using that to do some welding. We have some repairs we need to be doing, and we're just going to be giving everything a look over. Gage is going to go unload the man lift from the trailer, and then we are headed out to the field.
Gage, you get a new toy?
I got a new toy.
He's still trying to figure out how to run it.
I think the trailer's a little bit overweight.
Back up slowly. You got it?
Gage is headed out to the field. Chevy's getting put to work today, and she is hooked up to Double W, which would be the old welder wagon here, which is the victim of another truck challenge, but from long, long ago. This is a pickup box trailer that I believe is made from the pickup that Grant's parents went on their honeymoon in. And in the back of it is a welder. So stuff really never leaves the farm around here. And we will be taking this out to the field to work on a pivot. The door didn't really survive the truck challenge, but the rest of it did. See? Starts right up. We seem to have encountered a problem. Gage has gotten stuck again. Well, we got a call. It's 4 p.m. on a Friday when all of the best things happen, and Gage, our hired kid, has struck again. He has gotten the skid steer stuck. I don't know the full scope of the situation, but this is not the first time that he has gotten a skid steer stuck, and definitely not the first time he's gotten a piece of equipment stuck. So we could be dealing with anything like he just got in some mud and the tracks are spinning out, or the whole thing could be underwater for all I know. I'm not really sure. So
it's pretty bad.
Really?
I've seen the picture already.
Gage, come on. What do you think, Grant?
It looks pretty deep. I hope any major components are underwater, but I'm pretty sure the AC pump is on that side in the water.
Silly Gage, cats don't like the water. We did get rain, but I thought this field had dried up enough to drive in it, but apparently, oh my goodness gracious.
Well, don't get stuck yourself.
Gage.
Fall beside him. Are you stuck now too? Yeah, try the four-wheel drive out.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we're in 4 low. Let's just try and creep out of this. Oh, hold on, we're getting somewhere.
Let me get out and assess the situation.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go forward.
It might be too wet for this.
Thank you, Gage. Let's get Gage unstuck now. And there's totally a mouse in this pickup. I can hear it.
Oh no, oh no.
What? Goodness! Oh, gross! Hopefully this thing has enough pulling power and enough traction to get this thing unstuck. Getting the yankum rope hooked up under there.
There we go.
This thing isn't very big, but it's 16,000 pounds on these little tires. And it just couldn't quite make it through the mud. Yeah, come forward. There we go. Yep, that'll do. If this truck doesn't pull it out, we'll have to go get a tractor or something. All right, let's see if the yankum rope can do it.
Over on the bean stubble, it's pretty dry. It's just when you get under there, it's really tacky. What do you know? It worked. Never doubt the power of a yankum rope right there. Maybe we should leave that thing hooked up. We will leave this spot in the field to dry out and come and fix it later. That recovery is brought to you by a 1-inch yankum rope right there and some well-loved soft shackles.
This is a JLG 450 AJ. I think AJ means air jack. So I mean, that's what it's doing. It's jacking you up into the air. But it has 4-wheel drive, but the front tires only turn. So it's not like a telehandler where you got multiple. It's just one solid, it turns like a car. And it's all hydraulic steering. So if we come over here to the basket, these are all my controls. You gotta put on my foot, it's called a dead man switch. So nothing can work unless your foot is on that switch. So over here I got my tilt, or turn like an excavator, and my up and down. This thing goes pretty high. So then all of those little booms in there go up and down. They're all levers. So this one, it'll kick us up even higher, like a scissor lift. This one will control our little boom right here. This one tilts the basket, which is kind of nice. It doesn't tilt, it kind of turns. What else? This is my steering. So this is my steering wheel right here. If you look down there, there's that cylinder that moves them tires very, very slowly. But you aren't going very fast in this machine, so you don't gotta worry about it. And to move, I'm gonna put it in, I got 4 ranges. So I got 2 high, 4 low, and 4 high. So now I'm in 2 low, or 4 low. Foot on dead man switch, you gotta pull up this little safety. And then if I push it forward, we'll start moving forward very, very slowly. And then back up and just pull back, and I can steer it. It's a pretty cool little machine. You never think you need one until you got one. But then I got my acetylene bottles up here for when we're getting ready to cut, so I don't have to run hoses. And we have a very, very long lead on the welder, so it'll make it so much easier.
Here's the journey. That pivot is our destination. Slowly but surely. Hopefully without getting stuck again. So what exactly are we doing out here on the pivot? Well, let me tell you. We are switching this whole pivot, which isn't a very big one, it's only 3 towers, from These nozzles up here, these short ones, they're kind of very sprinkler-ish like, something that you might see in your lawn or garden, to these. These are drops. You might notice that these drops are much closer together than the sprinkler heads are. And so what we need to do is we need to make some new fittings so that everything is evenly spaced apart. That's going to give us better water coverage for this field next year. This pivot was just moved here recently and we are just slowly making improvements on it. Here are the new fittings that are going to be welded on. This is what's going to make the new hole in the pipe for the drops.
It's not live.
Measure so we get everything exact from one fitting to the next.
There's 4. There's 5.
Need 11 feet out.
Should we see how accurate that is?
Yes, that's just my guess on a foot. Give me a try.
Alrighty.
What do we think?
Oh, that's pretty.
Oh,
that's
that
pretty
is
good.
dead on right there. Not too shabby.
Not too shabby.
That's the spot right there.
Let's see if I get this thing to light. Might be too windy for the torch, Grant.
Poof. Can I block the wind for you?
Just
Just
a little
a little baby
all that
hole
work for a little tiny hole.
right there.
Look at our little. It is definitely not straight, but
That goes right there, and that is what we will weld on right there.
I hate welding on pipe. Alrighty.
I have faith in you, Gage.
What?
I have faith in you. Next step is actually welding on the fitting here.
This first weld is gonna look very bad. I haven't done stick in a long time.
Gage is preemptively apologizing for how his weld looks. But it's okay, it's the first one. It's kind of a practice, right?
It'll slowly get better.
It's not terrible. It's the first one. It's the first one.
So the 60s 10 or the 6010 and 6011 rods, this is 6011. They weld very bad. They don't look good, but they're a deep penetrating, very good welding rod. They don't look half bad though. For my first one in like a year.
It's the first one.
I got a little spot right there I gotta fix.
One down. Now I just need to do the rest of this thing. 11 feet at a time. While we're out here re-nozzling, every single tower is getting a look over because these things are going to be sitting all winter long. And if something's leaking, we want to catch it now and be able to fix it before it leaks all winter long. Come planting season, these pivots need to be working perfectly. It's imperative for our crop to be able to sprout and then grow, and for us to be able to harvest a good crop. These things, we really rely on them. Besides the actual water, the most important part of a pivot is its drivetrain. These gearboxes that sit behind every wheel, these joints, these center drives. And if you have been watching the channel for any length of time, you know that UMC has been a long-standing, faithful partner of ours. And we are so proud to have their pivot powertrain parts on all of our irrigation machines. Now, while it hasn't snowed, the weather is not very pleasant in Nebraska in the winter. It's very cold and always windy. And UMC has had an invitation extended to us for the entirety of their partnership with our farm. And we finally decided that it was time to take them up on it. So while it's cold here, it is very warm in sunny California, and we are headed there to visit UMC, meet everybody, and see how our gearboxes are made and tested, and see new developments that UMC is making in the pivot irrigation world. Are you ready? Good morning, everybody. Weather's not looking so great at home, but good news, the sun is shining in California, and today we are on site with UMC, or Universal Motion Components, to see how our pivot gearboxes are made and tested. We see these on the farm plenty, but here's an in-person look at what they're making here. UMC has been a leading name in pivot irrigation for over 45 years. They design, engineer, and distribute their drivetrains and irrigation components to keep our pivots up and going, moving smoothly all across the globe. They started out in Southern California, but over the past several years have grown to have a presence in over 90 countries. Everywhere we go, we see pivots that are outfitted with UMC parts. While UMC is a global company, it really didn't feel like it. Touring the facilities, it really felt like a family operation. Everyone was so kind and welcoming. In meeting with their R&D department and witnessing their product testing and the quality control that every component they manufacture undergoes, you can tell that they really go above and beyond to ensure that every product that leaves their facility is top-notch, but also that they're listening to their customers.
We just make the powertrain for pivots. We're a family-owned business. We're relatively small. There's not as much red tape, so we spend a lot of time focusing on that innovation. So you'll see today, like a quarter of our whole building is R&D.
On our visit, we met and spoke with the president of UMC, Alex Smith, grandson of UMC founder Bill Smith. Alex is the third generation of the Smith family and is passionate about the industry and the company his family has built. They all might look similar from the outside, but they're all just a little bit different. See pictures like this, and it makes you think that pivots are not just in Nebraska. They are found all over the world in all sorts of different terrains and environments to water all sorts of different crops. At this particular facility in California, they're going through and testing gearboxes, center drives, booster pumps to make sure every single one is exactly to spec, that the metal is hard enough, that all the bolts line up so that when this booster pump gets to me on my farm in Nebraska, I can just bolt it right on and go. One of the most fascinating parts of the tour was being able to see and talk to everyone in the R&D department. They are currently working on a brand new version of the gearbox that would allow the pivot to move so much faster through the field, meaning the pivot isn't limited to just watering, but allows it to be used for so many other operations on the farm, making it even more valuable than it already is. Being here in person is so cool because I'm able to see firsthand the testing of equipment that could be in use in my farm in the very near future.
So this, we call it our teeter-totter dyno. This allows us to simulate a span going up or down a hill. So we can simulate over-centered conditions on a pivot's powertrain. So here, we kind of have dueling dynos right now. Two dynos set up to test two iterations of our latest high-efficiency powertrain. So one of the challenges of making pivots go super fast so that they can do more in the field is torque. At 10 times the speed, you need to deliver a substantial amount of torque to the wheels, because as you go faster, you have less torque that you're delivering to the wheels. So at 10 times faster, we still need to deliver enough torque to the wheels to make a machine move through the field and through challenging terrain like hills. So we developed this power off braking system, which we have a provisional patent on. And what's unique about it is it's purely mechanical. You don't need external control. So what this does, we are combining the concepts of centrifugal force and permanent magnets to achieve a purely mechanical, frictionless braking mechanism. So what happens is when the motor starts, centrifugal force acts upon these swing weights, and those swing weights swing out.
Okay.
See those
Yes.
brass
Yeah.
swing weights? And when they swing out, it creates a linear force that disengages a permanent magnet rotor from a permanent magnet stationary set of permanent magnets versus a rotating set. And it allows the motor to free spin without any interference. Then when the motor slows down and centrifugal force subsides, there's magnetic attraction between the rotor magnets and the stationary magnets that locks the whole powertrain in place.
So you want to crash it?
Yeah, let's crash it. There. See, it's running away.
That's my pivot just running down the hill.
Running down a hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a pivot coming at you at that speed? It looks fast here. That's just over 1 mile an hour at the end tower there. That's cooking.
Which is way too fast for pivot.
Way too fast. We sat down and for a long time just talked about farming with them and the things that we experience with our pivots and things that we'd like to see improved. I felt listened to, and I was just honored to be able to go on this tour. Every single pivot repair that we have done over the past 3, now almost 4 years has been with UMC, and you guys have watched us replace countless gearboxes, joints, booster pumps, and center drives. One of my main goals with this channel is to teach other people about farming while I'm learning about it myself, and the opportunity to see the insides of gearboxes and see how products are developed, things that I use on a farm every single day, really felt cool because these are things that I'm learning for the first time, and I'm honored to have the opportunity to share all of this with you. I'm used to seeing these parts either individually actually installed on a pivot or maybe just 1 or 2 of them on a pallet, and it's almost comical to see so many center drives and gearboxes all together in one place. It's incredible to think that all of these are going out and are going to be installed on a pivot for some farmer. UMC is always working to innovate and make the products that they have even better for their farmers. So what you see behind me is a little research and development area. So they are taking their products, pushing them to their limits, and seeing how they can do them better. They're also testing brand new ideas before they're brought to market.
Here they're putting lots of wear and tear on a center drive, which is super cool. And then look, they're stress testing this gearbox for, I don't know what, but it looks pretty scientific.
UMC is a family-owned and run company, and being here and getting to see a father and son working together every single day on every aspect of the business is really cool. And honestly, it reminds me very much of how a farm is run. It's just really cool to be a part of it. I am honored to have them as a channel sponsor. Thank you so much to UMC for having Grant and I out here and letting us be a part of your company's family. If you're interested in learning more about UMC and their incredible product lineup, be sure to check out their website, follow them on social media, and we cannot say thank you enough for having them host us at their beautiful site. That was a wonderful visit, but it's back to windy Nebraska and back to working on this pivot.
We seem to have sprung a leak. The drain for this tank is leaking.
Here's our pile of nozzles to choose from. We've picked out 25 to use for this pivot project here, labeled 1 through 100 in accordance with the size of the actual nozzle. That's how water gets evenly distributed as the pivot moves across the field. Smaller nozzles towards the center of the pivot where it actually moves around. Bigger nozzles out towards the end because that walks faster so the pivot can actually walk around in a circle. All of the fittings have been welded on the top pipe. The next steps are to install a horseshoe fitting that will take the water from here in the pipe to down here, and then we install this drop right here. This component is the whole reason why we started this project. The goal with this is going to be getting the water to the ground and ultimately to the plant way faster, more efficiently, and with way less water going places we don't want it, like the road.
Hand me the pipe wrench.
There you go. Yep.
Yep. Probably overusing this stuff, but I really don't want this thing to leak.
Rather too much than not enough.
Yes.
And it's just fun to paint.
These adapters seem to cross the. There we go.
And there's our completed drop, just like that. Windy, cold days like this, working as a team makes them better for sure. It's nice to have other people to share your struggles with.
You guys talked about doing this in the other one. Which one? The one on the other end of the field. Let's do it in the warmer weather. Yeah, I was like.
I'm so thankful Dad had this telehandler for us to borrow. It is the absolute perfect piece of equipment for the job. Speaking of the weather getting colder, if you are looking for a gift for a loved one or maybe a gift for yourself, or it's just cold and you want a hat, I've got Laura Farms beanies, and the link to get them is in the description below this video. And that's the last of them. This pivot officially has a new to it because all these pieces are used. Sprinkler kit on it. All right, Dad, you can have your telehandler back. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Our pivot is re-nozzled and ready to irrigate, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you so much to UMC. I hope you guys learned something and enjoyed our visit because I know we did. And we will see you in the next one. Bye.